Chapter 13, Act 2, the second Project Exodus.
We got a basic plan drawn up. Meet me in command.
Roger.
Well, that
Let's
didn't
move.
take long. Guess we're heading to Blade Tower. Hello, everybody. It's Tallara, and welcome back to Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. On our last episode, we completed Chapter 13, Act 1, and learned the new threat we're dealing with. And now at the beginning of Chapter 13, Act 2, it looks like Major Mustache has a plan.
Ever since Void turned up, we've been witnessing ganglion remnants stirring back to life, all across Mira.
They're as vulnerable as us, what with the DMAT events and ghosts. But they've also got a new objective that'll have lit a fire under them.
Objective? Oh, Void's floating continent.
Volataris is a special place. Those who heard Void's call have begun some holy pilgrimage there, for the promise of a new world under their creator's leadership. They may be fragmented at best, and little more than a minor nuisance, but these recent events have granted them new purpose.
You'd think they'd want to regroup quietly. Instead, they're out there raising hell.
I'm glad they've kicked the blues, but throwing an all-you-can-loot and plunder buffet? That part I don't love.
Remember, they were a coalition. Their mission, to eradicate Samar's descendants, including us. A tiger cannot so easily change its stripes.
The fight for survival, it never ends, huh?
We've come a long way indeed. This place, it is our second home. We've overcome the odds, made it a safe haven. DMAT events, ghosts, ganglion. We must remain firm against these ever-present threats. In addition, we must reclaim the cores Void stole and prepare to leave for a new world. Bluntly, the only choice left for us now is to run.
In other words, we're talking about a second Project Exodus.
Just when we've beaten that damn Luxar. We just can't seem to catch a break, can we?
No kidding. Just when I was starting to put down some roots here.
I don't want to leave either.
A truly gut-rending thought.
I do share your grief. However, we must face the facts. The dematerialization phenomenon is spreading, and eventually it will engulf the planet in its entirety. This truth is unequivocal. And this time, it's not just humanity's future that's at stake. Our aim now is to evacuate all races that live on Mira.
Every single one?
Of course, all those that would be amenable to our proposal. Regrettably, any life forms we cannot communicate with will not be considered.
That's quite, how should we say, egoistic, no?
I mean, yeah, humanity can't discriminate. This was the whole reason that Lao turned against us in the first place. The discriminatory process from the first white whale. We're not doing that this time around. We've got a major reduction in numbers in the first place. Now is not the time to reduce them even further.
I understand how you feel. I didn't propose it lightly. But frankly, it's just not feasible to do otherwise. Some species are dangerous, some others simply too violent. With the time we have and the available personnel, finding a way to save them all is impossible.
Okay, but even narrowing it down just to the sentient races. Will that work?
Good point. If our only choice is to build a lifeboat, making something big enough, it's gonna take some time.
We've agreed on a cooperative partnership with the Manon to obtain a ship.
We're going to use the Manon ship, the one over NLA.
You betcha. Eyeballing it, it should have the capacity, enough to carry all evacuees. Of course, it'll need a fair bit of retrofitting.
We'll need to incorporate the Ares jump drive and the Lifehold Core's protoplasmic fluid system. But if we work together, we should make it before the Reaper comes a-knockin'.
Why, that's feeding 3 cooks with 1 stove.
Right, so that part we've got tied up with a bow.
We've already contacted all known Xeno communities. They should be apprised of the plan. Sadly, some of them did respond they're planning to go down with the planet, but most are currently in the process of relocating to NLA.
Then we've got no time to lose.
Right.
As of now, all active Blade personnel are ordered to give this plan the highest degree of priority.
Broadly, we have 2 objectives. Helping to construct the escape vessel and supporting those who want to come to NLA. It's all hands on deck. We may require troops to take assignments across division lines. Be ready for anything.
Roger. Recap. We may get assigned stuff outside of our official divisions, right?
Right. First off, we should head back to the barracks. Make sure we're prepared for anything.
Okay.
Chapter 13, Act 2. The plan to relocate all races on Mira to NLA is on. Blades are to help with building the escape vessel and to assist all those willing to join us. So, I want to take a minute before we proceed with the main story quest to just kind of let you guys in on what I've been thinking and what my feelings are so far about Chapter 13. So, I'm well aware that at this point, Chapter 13 was not part of the original release of Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U. The Wii U version ended at Chapter 12 on that massive cliffhanger, so Chapter 13 is brand new. However, and I'm hesitant to make these comments at this point because I'm wondering maybe I'm jumping the gun and maybe things will change over the next little while, but I just want to tell you what my original thoughts are. I'm actually a little bit upset about what's happening here. All this time that we spent on Planet Mira, learning about it, basically building a foundation for humanity's new home, we're just giving up on it? We're not even trying to fight back? We're just like, yeah, we came here, we made a new home, but now we're leaving. The entire adventure up to this point, the development of New LA, going out on all these missions to install the probes, learning more about the planet, building a new life and home for humanity and mankind, I just feel like it's all being a little bit erased here. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's been clear the main message of this game, which has continuously been focused on, is that despite everything, humanity survives, right? We lost Earth, but we built a new home on Mira. Now we'll lose Mira, and we'll build a new home somewhere else. You know, we persevere. That's always been the underlying message, but at the same time, it's kind of leaving a bit of a sour taste in my mouth here. I feel like this whole story that's coming about in Chapter 13 could have really worked as a sequel. If this was Xenoblade Chronicles X 2, maybe it would make more sense. But I feel like the fact that this chapter is part of the same game as chapters 1 to 12, it feels a little out of place. Finishing Chapter 12 and moving right into Chapter 13, where everything changes in such a drastic way, just doesn't sit right with me. And I apologize for being a bit of a negative Nancy here, and I'm well aware that I might be jumping the gun a little bit. We're only just starting Act 2 of Chapter 13, so maybe some of my concerns will be assuaged, but my initial gut reaction, the fact that we're not even trying to fight back, we're just running away after everything we've done to reclaim this planet and call it our home, I don't know. I'm getting a bit of whiplash here, and I would love to hear your guys' comments, and I apologize for the bit of a rant. I've done 2 laps around the administrative district just ranting, but I thought it would be important for me to share my feelings and how I'm feeling right now, as this obviously is my first blind playthrough of the game, so I feel like a lot of people watch blind playthroughs to get people's genuine reactions to how things are unfolding, so there you have it. That's a very long-winded rant about how I'm feeling about Chapter 13, but I'll leave it there. Let's see what this chapter actually has in store for us, and maybe I'll be feeling a lot better about it later on once some more things become clear and some more questions are answered.
Where's the fire?
Here's the deal, right? You know how we're helping wire in the Ares jump drive system, don't you?
Yes, so we've heard.
But actually, we're not really experts on this scale and Ares stuff, are we? So we went and asked that fandom guy, and he said you guys are the usual go-tos around here.
I see. Let me guess. You'd like us to go to the hangar and advise your scientists?
You got it!
We'll go now.
Wow, thank you! You guys are just the pizza toppings!
Knowing the Manon and their love for pizza, that makes that saying even better. So, looks like we're doing a bit of running around here. We popped back to the barracks for a brief rest, but now we're gonna head to the hangar and hopefully help out the Manon.
Nice of you all to drop by. How's it poppin'?
Friend Al really loves saying that.
His idea of a gag. Don't get too hung up on it.
That's right. Someone asks how it's poppin', you say?
Terrible, of course. Yourself?
Better than you, meaning terrific.
Tatsu mystified.
It is as we have been told. It takes two minds to tango.
Hey, Al! Ask me!
Hey, Gwen, how's it poppin'?
Naturally terrible, and how about you?
Not awful enough for you to be worrying about.
Huh?
You haven't changed a bit. Say, you've been out of this world. Got any words of wisdom for us from the great beyond?
It's not that kind of highfalutin place. More than anything, it was dull, like a cheap roadside motel.
Please, we would love to hear your choice morsels.
Me too. Color me curious.
Way to gang up on me. I'm warning you, it's a slog.
I mean, I'll be the judge of that. I gotta be honest, one thing I'm definitely super interested in is finding out where the heck Al has been all this time. So I know he says it's a boring story, but yeah, I'll be the judge of that.
No pressure, huh? Fine. But you're buying the round. Bunch of busybodies.
What can I say? I like it when people spill the tea, especially about intergalactic mysteries.
So, before the white whale crashed, a bunch of ghosts got me cornered. I was cut off. Just as my goose seemed cooked, something opened up in front of me. And also, I felt this huge pull at the same time. My body inside the Ares. We were being sucked right in through the opening. Beyond that was a sight to behold. If space could have edges, that was a place where you could see them all. Thinking about it now, And to get a little technical, it was a nexus of parallel universes. It was like the backstage of space, the border town of all universes.
Wait, what?
We call it a rift between worlds.
Shulk Fiora? No way.
Light years beyond the realm of human science. But strangely, most of the Ares features kept functioning as normal. Sure, the sensor suite adapted for human tech kept throwing errors. But the main transceiver never stopped logging huge quantities of some kind of data. And you might think I dreamed all this up, but somehow I could understand what that data was. Not logically, intuitively. You ready? Well, what came flooding into me in the Ares was the consciousness of all living things across all universes. Instinctively, I stopped myself from trying to perceive them one by one. The human brain isn't built to handle something like that. I could tell in an instant. I think I got that one from an old sci-fi flick, but I'd say it was the right call. Now, the Ares was a step ahead of me. It sifted through that huge torrent of data, presented me with the information I most wanted in that moment.
Oh my god! Rex and Pyra!
To escape the world of the Rift and get back to this one. The Ares was kind enough to show me the way back home.
Some cool little cameos
It's
there.
thanks to its help that I came back at all. Well, the universe Earth was a part of was destroyed. This one with Mira is a completely different one. So maybe back is the wrong word.
Sounds like quite the trip. So that's your plan for us to leave this universe? You're proposing we use the Ares to make our escape?
Well, more or less.
But?
I don't really understand exactly how I got here. One slip up and I'd be washed away in that stream. I might never have been able to escape it. That world. It's a mind prison.
A prison?
Void Seat. I think he was held there. His consciousness, at least. You told me about the Vita, how it was a vessel to facilitate Void's coming. I guess what it did was channel his soul in some shape or form, freeing him of his shackles.
What does that mean, though?
Now hold on a sec. That's like how our MIMs work.
No way.
All the loose threads seem to be coming together.
Perhaps Void escaped from his cell by tracking the Ares as it left the rift between worlds. It would explain the impeccable timing. And here's the kicker. The thing that's in the Vita, it's not just his mind, it's his body too.
When the Ares first appeared in this world, it was shortly before we encountered you, right? Then the Ghost's appearance and the DMAT events. It's possible that it caused both of them to manifest.
Wait. I see you trying to connect all the dots. Don't you think you're jumping the gun?
Maybe. But when Void showed up and attacked my world to claim the Ares, think about it. That was exactly when the Ghosts appeared.
What are we thinking then? Cause and effect, or... Void said he brought worlds into Concord. Ah. I feel like I'm starting to get the picture here.
Must be urgent.
Yeah. We need you in Oblivia. Hoping you could track down a man-on engineer.
Roger. Let's hear the details.
Here you go. The guy is in charge of the jump drive design. Apparently, he had a part in mind for the Crux, but it was sitting in a ganglion stronghold, so we had him get it.
That's a bold move, Commander.
What can I say? These are desperate times, so... We did assign an escort, but then Ganglion found him and we lost contact.
Understood. That's enough to go on. We'll head for Oblivia ASAP.
Good hunting.
Let's move.
Well, guess we're not going to get a chance to finish our pizza there. But wow, was Al ever wrong when he said his whole story was boring and uninteresting? So apparently all this time, Al has been in some sort of nexus in between worlds, which is quite interesting. Obviously, the most interesting revelation there for Xenoblade Chronicles fans is that he actually looked into the worlds of Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, meaning that all of the games are connected. I was always under the impression that Xenoblade Chronicles X was not connected to the main trilogy. It was a standalone, separate experience, and I guess it technically is, but they all take place in the same series of universes. It's a multiverse story, but that is the concrete connection right there. And I guess it does answer a lingering question that I've had for quite a while. Back in, I don't even remember what chapter it was now, one of the early story chapters, we actually encountered a Talethia from Xenoblade Chronicles 1. And for the longest time, I was like, oh, that must be just an Easter egg. But no, I guess like these little universal rifts have been opening, I suppose. I guess Al isn't the only one who was pulled into one. I guess maybe Talethia and some other things have been pulled in as well, and that would explain their presence here on Mira. I'm still struggling with the fact that our plan is to run, and this is the last comment I'm gonna have on it for right now, because I'm really worried that in the end we won't run, we'll stand and fight, and then all of my bemoaning here will have been for naught. But I just don't understand why we're not trying to fight. I mean, even just from that little bit of a conversation with Al there, I think we've figured out what the Void wants. It wants the Ares. That's why it followed us here to Mira, and it's going to destroy this world. If the Ares left, I think Void and everyone might too. Like, I feel like there are so many clear ways to at least try to save Mira. On our last episode, I mentioned about how all of this kind of feels like the Reapers in the Mass Effect trilogy, for anyone who's familiar with those games. Absolutely fantastic games. And in those games, we did stand and fight against overwhelming odds. We had to fight gods and save the universe from being destroyed, and we did it. So the fact that we're not even trying to do it here, plan A is just run away, really frustrates me. But anyway, right now we've got to turn our attention to this poor man-on engineer. Oh, what happened here?
I'd say we're in the right place, huh?
Only ganglion bodies, though.
That's good.
Seems like our engineer might still be alive.
Yeah. Let's confirm.
Who goes there?
Oh hey, Rothians! It's been a while.
It's you.
You again. I see. Looking for your friends, are you?
Do you know where they are? What happened here?
The people of Roth have accepted your exit strategy. We decided to send our younglings to NLA first. We were passing through here en route, where we encountered and assisted human troops in combat with the Ganglion. We were able to claim victory, albeit at a price. I'm transporting our wounded.
Now I see. We thank you.
There is no need. Your friends are safe with us, undergoing treatment at our stronghold.
Ms. Bleed, did you see a Manon in the soldiers' company?
I have not seen any, no. But there were other units. Maybe they escorted them.
Could we accompany you now, on the way to your stronghold?
Yes, you may.
What's going on?
Talk about a rude interruption. Guess we'll have to pause this conversation for a minute.
Looks like a job half done.
Yeah.
You die! Die like beasts!
Let us handle these ones. You have wounded. Get them somewhere safe.
I hear. All yours.
Alright, time for some fighting. There's been a lot of talking to start off this chapter, which I don't necessarily dislike. I like the exposition because it's answering a lot of our questions, but at the same time I was itching to get our hands dirty. You can probably see that I've switched up the party a little bit. I've actually replaced Elma with Al. Al does come with a level 50 skill, which is really nice, and then I also managed to have enough money to get Irina a level 50 skill. So right now we are a squad of 3 level 50 skulls and 1 level 40 skull, which I think should be super helpful for these battles ahead. It also took us 65 hours in game, although I guess we didn't meet her right at the very beginning, but what I'm trying to say is we finally know how to pronounce that Rothian's name. I was calling her Booty for the longest time. Apparently the correct pronunciation is Bweed, so today I learned here at the very, very finale how to pronounce that poor Rothian's name, so sorry to Mrs. Booty. I mean, Bweed.
Elma, let's get to the Rothian stronghold.
Right.
We were sure that was the end for us, weren't we?
Tatsu breathed sigh of relief. Thanks to Kitty Cat friends.
You said it, pal. If you hadn't turned up when you did, we'd be pushing up daisies by now. Thanks. We all inhabit this world together. The feeling is mutual.
We got shot up, and we didn't even get the thing we needed.
Relax, alright? We'll find it at the next location. Third time's the charm, no?
Yeah, well, starting to doubt that.
Just stay positive, okay?
A moment ago, you were on the brink of death. Yours is a mercurial people.
We survived, so it's all good, yes? On to the next one.
Jeez.
Thank you once again. We owe you for saving their lives.
My prince has ordered us to aid humans, and so we have.
Prince, my deepest thanks for rescuing our friends. We're in your debt.
No need. We are allies. But still... Void's appearance here fills me with unease.
You know something about Void?
Vita. It serves to sustain Void as his material vessel. Consider the battle for Earth. There, from his Vita, did he command the Ganglion.
However, in the chaos after Earth's destruction, his consciousness departed the machine, leaving it a shell, to be pulled in by Mira and crash to her surface, as did you.
Al, what you said earlier.
Yeah. As I suspected, he'd only linked his mind to the Vita, while his body stayed in the rift. Seems to track.
Mission accomplished. Come on, let's get back to NLA.
All these races working together? Mira really is a welcoming kind of place. Just like Lao said.
Huh? Lao said that?
Al, what? When did you see Lao? How?
It was when I was drifting inside the rift.
But that's...
You ever heard of Nirvana? Some religions have the concept, and that space might just be it. As I was floating along, guided by the Ares, while I was looking for a way into this universe, I made a little layover in an eerie kind of place. Fancy seeing you here.
Well?
How long has it been? I don't think we ever spoke after I left Team Princess.
I thought you died defending the White Whale, back before it grounded on Mira.
Well, you know, if this is the afterlife, maybe I did. So, how about yourself? Are you dead?
Yeah.
Figured.
I betrayed our friends. I sold intel to the enemy to get back at those who got my family killed. Well, really, I had just given up. It wasn't about grief or retribution. Plain despair tipped me over the edge. It wasn't the right thing to do. And I knew it. I knew. And I did it anyway.
Now you're just sulking, pal. A guy as good as you?
Just don't. What Lynn said. She said, it's what makes us human. Corrupt and disgusting. That's what humans are. She's a good kid. Always trying to put herself in my shoes. I could never atone enough for making a child like her wade into that muck. My hopelessness, it wound up infecting her as well.
And that's why you accepted death? Decided to just give up and wait for it?
Yeah, soon. I'll see Charmaine and Chenchi.
I get this might be what you want, but not me. So what if this place is the afterlife? I'm itching for more living. People still need me. Humanity still needs me. I've got unfinished business, and until I finish it, I can't rest.
That's right. That's you to a T. Not me, though. Scram now. You know the way, right?
Yep. I've got the best guide around.
The world I came from. It's a welcoming kind of place. Everyone's ready for your big return.
I sure hope so.
If you make it, pass a message to Lynn. Humans are disgusting. And stubborn, and treat others cruelly. But if she realized this, That means she's anything but. Tell her to live.
Lau. I'm not what you think I am.
No more fighting, Lau.
No, Elma, not like this!
Step aside, Lynn.
We're all on the same side here! Even then, when I stood up for you, honestly, that was just so I wouldn't have to be sad again. I never could figure him out. It was all so childish. I was acting so immature about everything. But back then, you stood up to defend Lau, just the same way that I did. If you hadn't done that, maybe I wouldn't have stuck it out and run away instead. I would have stayed a child to the very end.
Yes. And if you hadn't stood in my line of fire that day, we would have all been as disgusting as he thought. Your actions are what saved us from that hollow despair.
You don't need pretty excuses here. It's all part of life. You gotta take the good with the bad. Anyway, he told you to live. End of message.
Yeah.
Colonel Elma! Requesting a beat!
What was that? What's going on over there?
Elma, wasn't that?
Yes. The leader of the escort from before.
Didn't they say they were going to Lakeview Stronghold in Noctilum?
Then we go too.
Yeah. Hope we're not too late.
Well, there's another Al tea spilling session that was rudely interrupted by an emergency call, but I mean, I think Al told us more than enough there in that little conversation that we had. I shouldn't say little, these have actually been really lengthy cutscenes, so I hope you guys are comfy and have a snack and a drink, because we're definitely getting a lot of story here, which again, isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I have been noticing that these cutscenes are certainly longer than some of the other ones that we've experienced in prior chapters. So I guess that solves the mystery. At the end of chapter 12, we saw Lau wash up on a beach shirtless, and for a minute I thought, oh, is he alive? But no, I guess he's in the afterlife. The afterlife looked like a very nice place. That was a beautiful beach, and it turns out, I guess, being in the nexus of the multiverse, being in that weird world between worlds that Al was in, that actually included the afterlife as well. So afterlife confirmed in the Xenoblade Chronicles universe. It was nice to hear from Lau once again, but I suppose that's another loose end tied up. And now, let's go see if we can assist. What do we have here? What is... Oh my god, look who it is! You!
The whole team's dead. And look!
Piece of...
Why? What are you doing this for? You want to leave this world too, right? There's no need to be doing any of this!
I wish to know death.
Huh?
Death, is it?
The fear of death is a powerful motivation in creatures like you. Yea, stronger even than your lust for life. I wish to understand this.
And that's why the slaughter?
You think by killing them yourself, you'll get what it's like to fear death?
That's a weird motivation.
What was it you called our fight against you? A contest for survival? That's a contest to defy death. You started a war without knowing that?
The best it will simply cease to be. That is not death. Self-evidently, as I have no conception of it. Ceasing to be is simple non-existence. But death, when you speak of it, is wrapped up in many a complex emotion. That I wish to know.
And then? After that?
I have not considered it. You will find my desires are not rooted in emotion. Actions are all. They occur automatically, driven by inevitability.
But it's nonsense. How is that a reason to kill? Why do this?
Enough. Don't try to understand it, Lynn. He can string all the reasoning he likes. But when you get down to it, this guy is pure evil. Our enemy, nothing less.
Yeah, I mean, look, sounds to me, no matter what his motivations are, I think those motivations he just told us about are pretty frickin' twisted. It's clear that violence is the only argument he'll listen to either way.
That's exactly right. Lynn, we're here to make sure we don't lose anyone else today. That's our mission.
Understood.
Alright, looks like we're not just fighting Void this time. He's got lots of minions, a bunch of obedient prone here. Ground units. I wouldn't want to be them right now, facing down 4 giant mechs, but anyway. Clearly they are devoted to the cause, so we'll take those guys out first. They should be the easiest. We're actually in a little bit of close quarters here. Like, I know we're obviously in the middle of the jungle, but down here amongst this little bit of the ganglion base that's here, there's not a lot of room. So you can see those explosions actually got pretty close to me there. But alright. We've also got upper Kamovias here, which are the prone mechs. And actually, I don't think Void is even participating in the battle right now. He's content with just watching us battle his minions. That's a little strange for an evil overlord. Although, maybe not. Evil overlords do like letting their minions do all the work, so... Guess that's what's happening here. There goes down another ground unit, so, there's just this ground unit right here left now. The very obedient prone. As we found out on our last episode, of course, the reason the prone and the ganglion are so obedient to Void is because he was actually their creator, so that's where the sense of obedience actually comes from. Definitely glad we got all these level 50 skells, because it's making this battle a lot easier than it probably would have been if we didn't. And now we've got 2 Kamovia mechs to take out. Unfortunately, Lynn's skell has been destroyed, but that was the lowest level skell of our group. Lynn's the only one who doesn't have a level 50 skell, so it kind of makes sense that she would be the first to lose her skell, but it's okay. I think we'll be alright even without it. As long as Void doesn't decide to join the battle, we should be a-okay, honestly. You're not going to get to experience the fear of death unless you hop into the fray, or I guess he's experiencing it secondhand through his poor minions here. Alright, 1 left. Super hot, Al.
You're mine. Go off with a bang. Popped us a body part. You know the
there we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. What'd you think of that show, Mr. Void?
You're up next. Scum!
Enough. There is no more to be gained. Your
Your stubborn fixation on living is inordinate. You are unlikely to teach me what I wish to know.
Shut up!
In any case, you will come to my abode. It is, after all, inevitable. The contest continues. As this world's time draws ever closer.
What a train wreck. That creep really gets me seeing red. Makes me gag.
Let's do a quick head count.
Roger that.
Do we have any surviving heads? I'm worried we don't. Let's pick up our loot first and then see if there's any survivors from that SOS call. You'll see right here there's a fallen operative. It's not looking good.
What's this?
Looks like the part they were after. They found it.
Looks like it, yeah.
Then we need to get this back to NLA. We can't let their sacrifice be in vain.
Yeah.
So that's it. Sacrifice it is indeed. And as Elma said, we won't let it be in vain. Really sucks to have to lose people, but hey, if we can't build this second Project Exodus, then we're gonna lose a lot more people. I wanted to see how I could get up to that alien container, seeing as this ganglion base is currently very unoccupied. It's like eerily quiet here. How about we take a little detour and grab this alien container before we head back to NLA? Perfect! If we're leaving Mira behind, we may as well loot it for all it's worth, right?
It's a real shame our friend didn't make it, but at least the mission's complete, right? Credit where it's due, you know.
Void. That goddamned rat.
Commander, we'll get him. We'll win his little game. We must.
Lynn.
Damn straight. These lives won't go to waste.
Not to rain on your parade here, but how are we doing with the Ares?
We're making good progress thanks to you, are we? We have some news, so would you mind stopping by the restricted hangar after this?
Sure thing, we'll be there.
It wasn't easy, but the mission was a success. Good job.
Hey there, how's it poppin'?
Terrible, right? How about you?
Better than you, meaning terrific.
That's great, isn't it?
Look at him. He's really found his footing here, hasn't he?
Once you really get to know him, most get on with him like a house on fire.
Hey, how's it poppin'?
Tatsu terrible, clearly. And how is friend Al?
Even worse than you, I bet.
But that's not the correct follow-up.
I like to mix it up, keep you on your toes.
Al cannot flip script.
Elma, this vegetable come with a volume knob?
Leave it. You had some news?
Well, I heard the Ares was recreated on your planet. But how much do you actually know about it?
You're correct about it being recreated. Here's the truth. We excavated an ultra-ancient frame and fitted it with auxiliary power and plating. It might be more precise to say we jury-rigged it to run.
So you've got nothing to say regarding the cores then, I take it?
If I did, don't you think I would have told you when I first got to Earth?
Yeah, you got me there.
Vexing, isn't it?
The Ares cores. I learned they're based on a device that existed eons ago.
A device?
A space-time bender. It moves things into different universes and all that. A meta-doohickey. It's a common trope in the old movies, right?
Yeah, except real.
The energy that the Ares could deploy thanks to the cores was in a league of its own. According to simulations, you put the pedal to the metal, space bends like a straw.
I see.
If that's true, what chance do we have of beating Void?
I mean, I think we should take the initiative and strike now. I've been advocating for fighting back this entire time. Let's do it, guys.
Calm down, Rook. We're still okay.
Hey. After all we've been through, she's still calling me
He
Rook.
took the time to come and taunt us.
I know Al's the
he's still
new
getting
hero
ready.
here after all, but Elma, what the heck?
Well, even supposing he's through the prep phase, he can't just rock it off.
What do you mean?
For all his rambling and raving, if the cores were enough, he could have left by now, brought the world into concord, or whatever his tagline was. But cores alone won't cut it. We figured it out while analyzing the Skell. When I was transported inside the rift along with the Ares, machine and mind got melded together. We became inseparable. I won't pretend to understand, but it wouldn't have been possible for a living human to hold onto their self there otherwise. So, without me and the Ares, the cores won't be able to deploy their full power.
Melted with the Ares. I think I get it. Not in the physical sense of being one thing, but like an engine running under the hood?
Damn, you're sharp, Lynn. But the analysis didn't stop there. Better hold on to your seats. While inside the rift, I saw where the rivers of consciousness converge. Something like the crossroads between universes. Even if we get the Ares and cores running, if we can't sync ourselves to that, we won't be going anywhere. Annoyingly.
Is it a question of timing, then?
Put simply, yes. And here's another nugget spun off from the Ares analysis of the rift. The streams of consciousness converging on that universal nexus. Structurally, they're extremely similar to the Lifehold core.
They're what?
Remember what we were talking about before? How Void projecting his mind into the Vita is a lot like the way humans survive inside MIMS. Even with the Lifehold trashed, your consciousness is still being stored somewhere. Not by technology, but by some much larger universal mechanism.
But that's crazy.
This universal mechanism. What is it?
Dunno. It's just that when I was there, I felt it. You guys. People's lives. It was strange, like I was enveloped by this constant something.
And the Ares can tap into that? This, like, gathering place of minds?
More like souls, even.
Call it what you like. If we make it out of this universe alive, you'll get to experience it yourselves. Anyhow, in order to pull off our great escape, we'll need those 6 cores. We'll need me, the Ares, and some miraculous timing. That's how we sync to the Nexus, or die trying. In matter of fact, Void's no fool. He'll have cottoned on by now.
But if that's the case, why hasn't he attacked NLA yet?
If he did, he might end up killing Al. He won't want to risk destroying the Ares either. Still, once he gets his ducks in a row, I expect he probably will try something.
Okay, so what's our game plan? What do you think, Rook? You better knock this one out of the park.
How many times do I have to tell you? Preemptive strike. I hate how Al has come in and everyone's suddenly like, ah, yes, Al, the big hero, and have completely forgotten about me. Not that I need other people's validation for my ego or anything like that, but it feels like up until a few days ago, everyone was, you know, looking to me for my opinion and looking to me to charge forward, and now it's like, ah, Al's here. He's number one. Tallara, you're number two. I'll try not to sulk about it too much, but I'm going to continue insisting on strikes.
5-star answer. I knew I saw something in you. Of me. Hey, how's it poppin'?
Terrible. How about you?
Better than you, in other words, terrific. You hear that? Rook's answer?
Yes, and you seem pleased.
Yeah.
Although, why did you want someone else to make the call?
If I get taken out, I want to know there's someone I can trust with mankind's future. And the Rook seems well suited.
That isn't like you.
That's what we need right now. Someone who loves this world. The world and its people, warts and all. I need someone to take over my duty.
You need another you, in other words. When we were leaving Earth, you ignored my pleas and rushed off to fight without a thought for your safety.
You look after the refugees. I'll protect the ship from outside.
Just look at their numbers. You can't shift the balance, not with a single Ares.
Yeah, well, you never know until you try.
Al.
I'll cut through their ranks, make you an opening. I'll protect you to the last. People of Earth will not be snuffed out here!
You're right. Those eyes, they're just like yours back then.
The jump drive is still in the experimental phase, but otherwise, the White Whale 2 is ready. We'll be unveiling it shortly if you'd care to step outside.
We'd be thrilled. Shall we check it out then?
Yeah, I can't wait!
Tatsu bristling with thrill!
All right, man, chapter 13 is so long. I mean, it's broken up into different acts, and even just these acts are by far longer than the story missions in the base game, I guess you'd call it. But regardless, after some more long-winded conversations with Al, it seems that we're on to our next objective. Oops, sorry, wrong button. So, if we head out to the map, we're heading right out to Blade Tower again. I guess I could have stretched my legs and walked around the corner, but at this point, fast travel's just so convenient. How can you knock it, right? Who needs to walk when you can teleport? I sure wish I could do that in real life. And now, let's see what they need us for. Looks like the man on ship is getting those new upgrades. A mixture of Manon and human technology. Looks kind of cool. There's probably technology from other races mixed in there too. It's an amalgamation of technology. It looks actually pretty awesome. Look at that. Hard at work straight through the night. No time to rest with Void bearing down on us. Hopefully our great arc will be ready to set sail soon, I guess.
Thanks to all your efforts, we now have a ship capable of withstanding even the longest voyage. Preliminary tests of the jump drive are showing promising results. All that's left is to support those who have not yet relocated to NLA, and to guide our current residents through the necessary procedures.
If the ghosts or ganglion make a move, or further dematerialization occurs, we have the ability to launch the White Whale 2, even before all residents have boarded. Naturally, we'll keep you apprised, but we may be forced to make a snap decision. So do be advised.
Once everyone's safely on board, it'll be time to go on the offensive.
Yeah, it'll be all-out war. Any more vessels to escort, and we wouldn't have a snowball's chance of guarding them all.
But this way, there's a single point of failure.
Either way, if we lose the Ares, we'll be dead in the water.
Going all in? I say bring it on.
Changing the topic, where will we be going to?
How are we supposed to know that?
Ideally, a new universe. But we could also end up stranded inside the rift for the rest of time.
Terror!
Come what may, it seems we will be left as happy as a pig in a blanket.
You scared yet?
I mean, I gotta be honest, the idea of leaving everything we know behind and heading out into the great beyond, we're not even going to another planet, we're straight up going to another universe. I think anyone who says that they aren't terrified is lying. This is a pretty big deal here.
Nothing wrong with that. Knowing fear is the first step to being brave, Rook.
Elma. Not to ruin the moment, but duty calls. A blade named Kylie had a request concerning a friend. They've not made it to NLA yet. Mind getting the full lowdown?
Of course. Right away.
Thanks. She should be by the cathedral in the residential district.
Duty never sleeps, especially when you're a blade preparing for a mass evacuation. Alright, to the residential district. So it appears that most of the upgrades to the Manon ship are actually complete, so now obviously we're turning our attention to filling the ship with peoples from all races here on the planet. And step one will be helping Kylie with whatever she needs. Hey, what's going on, girl?
Sorry, I know you're busy. Here's the thing, there's a friend I've met in the course of work, and she's not here yet. Any chance you could go look for her?
That's a little worrying for sure.
Right? I'd love to go myself if I could. But my team's ushering people onto the lifeboat, so I'm kinda tied up.
Understood. We're on it. Any idea where we should start?
Thanks very much. Her usual residence is in Sylvalum, at the Delusion's North Summit.
She lives in Sylvalum or Sylvalum? Who the heck is living up in the middle of nowhere? Luckily, we actually do have a probe site, 416, nearby, cutting down on travel time. But what the heck are they doing living up here in the middle of nowhere? This is certainly making communication, let alone evacuation efforts, a little harder, but alright. I immediately see actually a bunch of ganglion. Bad sign. Looks like our quest marker is actually taking us up high, so let's hop into Skells here. Let's see where it's leading us. Right up on top of this cliff. Wow. Kylie, your friend really lives a secluded lifestyle. Holy moly, no one is ever gonna find them up here. Oh, it must be a Nopon. Just a little tiny Nopon house up here on this cliff in the middle of nowhere.
Not sure if it's the friend, but someone was here recently.
Seems so. Except nobody's here now.
Maybe she already pack up and leave?
I don't know. She's probably still around here somewhere. I mean, the campfire is even still burning. It seems really suspicious.
Could be. If she'd already left, I'd expect to see signs of hurried packing, and I don't.
True. And she evidently didn't extinguish the campfire.
That'd mean she was here until very recently.
Yes, that's my guess.
You don't think she went to fetch water or something?
That was close by.
Let's go.
Think we found our Nopon, and it sounds like we did good by coming to see where she was, because as you can see, looks like a ghost is here. Oh, Momo, are you okay? She's so small next to that giant ghost.
Are you okay?
Yes, quite fine.
Let us handle things here. You run.
Not have to tell twice.
Alright, we got a Momo to safety, and now we get to fight against this ghost crusader. This thing, honestly, looks frickin' epic. And I know I'm not supposed to compliment the enemy, but how can I not here? Now, the issue is we need to attack a certain part of the ghost to actually do any damage. This is something that we learned about in Act 1 of Chapter 13. Ghosts have a weak point. You'll see these little orbs. There's one that's white. We need to attack that orb to actually disable its force field or shields, such that we can do damage. So we gotta tell our entire party to concentrate fire on the bottom left ghost orb, which is the white one. I made a little bit of a faux pas here, as I forgot to repair Lynn's skill since the last battle, so unfortunately she is on the ground all by herself. But if anyone can deal with on-ground combat, it's Lynn. It's so funny because she's, you know, a 14-year-old kid, but yet she's actually pretty sturdy. She is a good tank, which is, again, kind of funny. So I believe in you, Lynn, even though you're on your 2 feet here. The rest of us have still got our skills, and we will focus on taking down this ghost. Hopefully it's just the one ghost. The last time we fought ghosts, we took down one and 3 others quickly arrived as reinforcements. So we'll see if that's the case here, or if we'll truly be one and done after we take down this level 54 Ghost Crusader.
Never to bully Nopon again!
You didn't even lift a finger.
Not sure if that was the hut's owner, but shall we head back?
Let's do that.
Looks like Omomo made it back home okay. Are you alright? That must have been quite a fright you just had.
Thank friends for earlier. Name is Omomo.
Hello, I'm Lynn. You're not hurt, are you?
Not even scratch.
Omomo, I'm Elma. We wanted to ask, do you know a woman by the name of Kylie?
Kylie? Of course Omomo knows. Kylie is best friend.
Best friend? You two are that close?
Exactly so. Before, one time Omomo was picking veggies and was attacked by wild critters like today. Omomo wanted to flee, but Omomo no longer sprightly like used to be. So Omomo trip on face and take bad tumble instead of flee. Just as life flashed before eyes, friend Kylie suddenly show up and bash whole pack of critters squarely on heads. She carry Omomo back to hut and even apply dressings to wounds of Omomo. And since then, periodically visit here to check up on Omomo's well-being.
Wow, all that. She's very kind.
Heart of Kylie is soft like dough. Every time she visits, she never failed to bring along lovely foodstuffs and other gifts. That's why Omomo also do her best to repay kindness with plenty of home-cooked snacks.
Tatsu could go for home-cooked snack also.
Is friend Kylie doing well?
Yeah, she's peachy. As a matter of fact, she's the one that asked us to come here.
Oh! Kylie is one who speak to friends?
Yes.
Momo, see. Momo has been burden on Kylie, and also big burden on friends. Momo, very sorry.
No trouble whatsoever. It is our job, after all. In fact, since we're already here, you can come with us to NLA.
Momo will be staying right here. Apologies that friends had to come all this way. Sorry for hassle.
Huh? But why?
Hubby Pawn of Momo rest peacefully here.
Hubby Pawn?
That why Momo also wish here to remain.
Oh.
But this planet's gonna disappear.
Momo know that. However, Hubby Pawn always got lonely very easily. That why Momo cannot leave Hubby Pawn here alone. Momo could never.
I get that, but still. Surely your husband wouldn't want you to die here for him.
That may be true, yes. Even so, Momo not asking friends to understand.
And how do you think Kylie will feel about this? Isn't she your best friend?
Mei.
Oh, Momo, I can empathize with you about wanting to stay with your loved one. It's just, are you sure that's the only reason?
Mei?
There's something else, isn't there?
Momo not wish to be burdened to anyone.
A burden?
That right. To family, to Little Pawn, who have lots of Little Pawn also. By now, they all safely in New LA.
Really? Then you should join them.
Momo already Granny Pawn. Often struggle to keep up with shenanigans. When that happened, without fail everyone fuss and try to help out. But making new life in new environment take lots of effort and time, incredible hassle. Besides, Momo is so tired. And honestly would hate to take away time and effort from every pawn.
That's what you call being a burden?
Precisely. Momo receive enough kindness already. Yes, ready to meet own end here by side of Hubby Pawn peacefully. That way, Little Pawn also then, surely happy.
Surely they'd be happier if you were with them. There's no reason for you not to impose on them. Please, you can't just give up on living like this. If you stay alive, you can support your family. That's the real way to happiness.
Oh dear, oh dear.
I mean, poor Momo's in a very difficult situation here. When she started off saying that she wanted to be here for her hubby Pawn, my heart ached for her. I totally get it. You know, she obviously knows that staying behind is a death sentence, but at the same time, she wants to be at the end with her hubby Pawn, and obviously we would need to respect that choice. But the more she's talking here now, the more I'm wondering, is this what she really wants? Now she's saying, well, I've actually got family in New LA, but I'm old and I don't know if I can keep up with them. And it's like, I don't want Momo to have any regrets. So you need to decide what you need to do if you want to stay with your husband. But at the same time, I wouldn't count yourself out yet, Momo. Clearly you've got friends and family who do care about you. But regardless, we're going to respect your choice.
Indeed. Lynn, let her be. It's her choice to stay behind. We can't force her. Besides, It may seem cold, but there are others out there who want to come to NLA. They need our help. We're better used elsewhere. Omomo, you've made your feelings clear. Please, don't worry about your family. I promise you, we'll get them safely to a new world.
Omomo, count on friends. And very sorry for making friends sad.
No. I'm sorry for speaking out of turn. I didn't consider your feelings.
Friend did nothing of the sort. Omomo was happy that friend cared enough to speak mind. Very lovely.
Omomo, if you change your mind, contact us anytime.
Thank you very much. Omomo will not forget words of friend.
Well, let's get the news back to Kylie.
Elma, was this the right answer?
I don't think there was one. One thing's certain. We must move forward, whatever the outcome. And that's it.
Back in New LA, let's check in with Kylie and let her know the good and bad news about her friend Momo. Good, obviously, that she's safe, but bad, she may or may not be coming to actually board the White Whale too.
Kylie, what's that you're up to there?
Oh, hi! Perfect timing. I was just about to head out to meet Omomo.
Huh? Meet Momo?
Yeah. I just had a message from her asking for help with her luggage. She says she can't carry it alone.
But didn't she...
Guess she changed
she
her
told me
mind.
everything. I know she'd been planning on staying here.
Right, she was. I thought I knew better than she did.
Well, she said she'd done some thinking about what you told her. Like, she'd fallen into this mistaken feeling that she had to rely on others. And she felt that she was running away from her own responsibilities.
Poor thing.
Guys, I'm sorry.
What's gotten into you?
We'll see. I had a hunch that Omomo might not want to come. But it's like every time we met, she always seemed to act so zen. I never managed to ask.
Instead, you wanted us to.
Yeah.
And in the end, Lynn managed to get through to her.
Hey, enough of that.
No, it really is all thanks to you, Lynn. If it was me, I'd have just listened to her talk. I wouldn't have been able to speak my mind. But this, it's taught me something. How important it is to say what you're feeling, what it achieves. Thank you for that.
Kylie, please, you're making me self-conscious.
Lindley is modern-day saint!
Tatsu!
Go on now, don't keep Omomo waiting.
Right, you are. Everyone, thanks so very much, again.
Lynn, happy now?
Yeah.
Well, seems like all's well that ends well, which is really nice. I'm glad that Omomo made the decision to leave. Although I know she must miss her hubby Pawn. And what do we have here?
Hey, Al. How's it poppin'?
Obviously terrible. And yourself?
I wouldn't say terrific exactly, but not awful.
Well, that's great to hear.
I just couldn't figure it out. How the Ares could keep running, just as normal, even though all its cores got torn right out. But it's because of you, isn't it?
Don't want to dwell on it, but yeah.
You know, looking at you, I get the feeling we're a step closer to solving the great mystery of where in the body the human spirit resides.
Huh.
I think the spirit isn't something one human body can contain. And it's not part of the consciousness packaged inside a mimeosome either. Other people can reflect someone's way of thinking, even their way of being. Which means that a person's spirit can exist in every other person whose life they touch. That's how I see it now.
No such thing as a soul that exists in isolation, huh?
It's like that with you. Your spirit lives inside everyone who thinks of you as the hero. And my spirit? It exists in everyone who's been kind enough to make the effort to get to know me. And so, the spirit of Lao, who held on to his memories of me until his very end, it has to be within me too. If you never came back, I might never have realized.
That's not true, Lynn. You knew it all along.
Huh?
You feel other spirits, just the same way that you do your own. That's all it took, no more. For you to become Lao's final hope. Be proud. Okay, who we searching for next?
I'll tell you. There's a Blade who departed NLA and hasn't come back in yet. I want you to go pick him up.
You say pick up, so you know where he is.
Yep. Eric, clue these guys in.
Roger that. I'm Eric, curator and captain of the eponymous Team Eric. I'm a bit embarrassed to admit, but it's my subordinate Ted who needs help. Ted is having some trouble accepting the Exodus plan. He said he wasn't going anywhere, then flew off in a huff.
We feared this might happen.
First we left Earth, now we're leaving Mira. He won't be the only one with internal struggles right now.
Yeah, I'm sure. To be perfectly honest, I'm wrestling with it too.
I mean, yeah, I'm having some doubts.
But cannot just carry on in quiet.
Believe me, I've been there too. We're curators. In our line of work, generally, we handle a lot of animals and plants. You start to have a lot of sympathy for the natural world.
I see. Flora and fauna are not part of the Exodus plan.
Right.
It's a thorny one.
Well, the first step's to meet the man and hear him out.
Agreed.
He'll be at the Canopied Nightwood in Noctilum. It was the location of our first mission.
Noted.
I appreciate it.
Alright, no rest for the weary, apparently. Chapter 13 is basically like a bunch of little missions all put together into one. So we started off by making or repairing or upgrading the ship, whatever verb you want to use there. We've got the ship all kitted out. Then we've turned our attention to making sure everyone was on board the ship. And now, last but not least, we've decided, hey, we can't just take the people and leave behind the flora and fauna. And for that, I agree, especially echoing my sentiments from earlier in the video. After having spent so much time exploring Mira and collecting and observing so many of its natural wonders, it really would be a shame to leave them all behind. I mean, at this point, we've only been on planet Mira for what, like maybe a year? So it's clearly we've barely scratched the surface. And I mean, if we're leaving not just the planet behind, but the universe, we'll probably never have the opportunity to look at some of these unique samples ever again. So, you know, as we're continuing to prepare to leave, I actually think it's really important to spend a bit of time here helping out the curator. So if we head up to FN Site 225, it looks like that's where Tom will be. Oh my gosh, yes, can we take these cuties with us? We can't leave the cuties behind. Look at those faces, look at those ears.
Looks like our man.
We need a zoo on board the White Whale 2, and we're taking all the cuties with us.
Are you Ted?
Hey, you're Alma's team. What are you doing here?
We came looking for you at Eric's request.
Captain sent you? I'm sorry. You came out here for me? You didn't have to.
Let me be straight. The plan hasn't changed. Will you return to NLA? Here's where we are. Your being here right now is dereliction of duty. I won't lie, we could take you into custody.
Look, I can't get on board with it.
Because we're not bringing plants and animals?
Exactly.
You must realize why. The logistical hurdles alone.
Sure. And yet, they're what nurtured this planet. Since way, way before we arrived. And just because we showed up, the whole world's just gonna disappear like that. If I can't stop it, I'd rather go with them.
Tom, I mean, I completely understand where you're coming from, because I also agree it's an absolute shame to save, you know, the people of this world, but not the plants and animals who are just as much alive. But at the same time, are you really proving a point by just staying behind and losing your life too? Think carefully about this. Maybe we can come to some sort of, I don't know, some other way.
Right. You have to follow your own conscience, no question. We will respect your decision. But you need to remember that by doing this, you'll be forcing people to leave you behind.
Well, I'm sure you've had time to consider it from all angles by now.
I'm sorry. I know what I'm doing is pointless, but still.
What if Friend took along genetic information?
The genetic information of the plants and animals of Mira?
Like Tatsuse!
I don't think there's any rule against it.
Clever. You want to emulate the Earth-life colonization project by preserving the genetic information of Mira's flora and fauna.
Tatsu knew Ilma would get it. That's what Tatsu said. Tatsu happy Friend pick up what Tatsu laid down.
Whew, that's some good thinking for a Nopon.
Friend could have left off that last part.
Our time is limited, though. We won't be able to capture all of it. Verdict?
We'll help you however we can.
Yes, I'm all for. If we can bring even a small memento of Mira's existence to the next universe we live in, I want to make it happen. I can gather the data we need from Noctilum. Can you do the other continents?
Of course.
I've sent you the coordinates for a spot in Primordia that'll make for good data. Best of luck.
Let's move.
This is a great idea. Shout out to Tatsu. If we can't physically bring the plants and animals on board with us, bringing their genetic data is certainly the next best thing, because I totally agree. After all the time and effort we've put into exploring Mira, and after seeing what amazingly unique plants and animals they have here, it would just be an absolute shame to leave it all behind. So I am all for this idea. As much as I wanted a whole pen full of Mira's cutest creatures on board the Man-on ship with us, I suppose this will have to do instead. And again, shout out to our little potato Tatsu for coming up with such a great idea. So here's our first point. It's up on North Point Beach, which normally has a beautiful view, but holy crap! I didn't realize how many more of these giant DMAT spheres there were. There's one right there. Oh, that ruins the view completely. Okay, let's just get to the data extraction and move on, because clearly the view in Primordia is not what it was.
We got it.
That should take care of Primordia then.
That's Primordia's data gathered.
Thanks a lot. Right then. If you could head over to Oblivia.
We're on it.
Next stop, Oblivia. Hopefully it's less scary over there. I've got to be honest, I'm not quite sure what the logistics here are of finding one spot on the continent that has all the genetic data that we need, but anyway, it looks like the spot we're looking for here is actually down in this little ravine or cave, and we're not going to be able to just walk in. There's actually some very high-level enemies here in this almost oasis-like area. We've got water, we've got palm trees, which, as we know from our previous adventures in Oblivia, is a big deal. This place is dry as a desert, so any oasis-like areas with water or other sort of plant life are a little bit rare. So it kind of makes sense, I guess. This is where we would collect the genetic data from, but yeah. Now, we're not going to be able to pick it up as super easily because, as you can see, a bunch of bug monsters are here, including this tyrant, Bertrand the Gorge Scourge. Wow, that is quite the name. This is a level 57 giant mosquito who is doing some good damage. Now, he is level 57, so as soon as he popped in, I was actually really worried that he was going to wipe us out, because not only is he a higher level than we are, but as we have learned oftentimes the hard way, tyrants are much stronger than regular enemies. But no, we're taking him down all right, so... Sorry, Bertrand. Your time being the scourge of the gorge is over. All right. Down he goes. We'll grab our loot. That actually completed some recon for this area, and now that all the monsters are taken care of, we can head into this little oasis and get the genetic data from this extraction point. Apparently this palm tree in particular provides an ample amount of genetic data for all of Oblivia. So again, not sure the logic behind that, but it's fine. Let's take it.
Jamnetic information collected.
Looks like Sylvalim's next.
Sylvalim, alright. So, back up to the north. Where's the spot? It's up here by Anvil Rock 2. If we go to the West Cinder Dunes, we'll probably be nearby.
Okay, it's in the bag.
We're finished.
Wow, that was fast. I guess that's why you're the pros. Last on the list would be Cauldros, then.
Got it. Once we have the data, we'll return to Noctilum.
Great. I'll go back once I'm done too.
Looks like our last area is in a region of Cauldros I haven't actually explored before. It's next to Turnian Fork, BC. And then if we fly, there's actually almost like a little island over here, or volcanic rock structure, and that's where we're getting the genetic data. It is eerily close to that orb, but welcome to Slave Bird Isle. I can see maybe where it got its name. There's a lot of birds. Are they slaves, though? What's up with that? Before we deal with any slave birds, we're actually going to deal with Ganglion. What the heck are you guys doing here? We've got a Buster Kaiser Kamova just hanging out right next to the genetic data point. That's a little strange. I'm not sure why they were here. Maybe just a coincidence, but of course, now the birds are getting in on the action. They said, "Ooh, fighting? Sure, we'll join in too." These birds are actually pretty high level, so let's take them out. I'm also noticing if I can get to the right enemy. There's a Milsati Savage here as well. What is going on this weird little island?
And that's the last of it.
Good work, everyone. Back to Noctilum, then.
Hey Ted, we planted all the markers. We're back.
We've collected a whole dragon's hoard of genetic information. Couldn't have done it without you. Thank you so much. I'm ready. I'll go back to NLA.
Really?
Yes. See, while collecting the data, I heard voices. The beings that made this world told me something. To preserve is to cultivate.
As much as I want to worry that he might have inhaled hallucinogens, I don't want to say that I heard them too, though. I don't know what the right answer is here. I'm just gonna agree. Let's just nod our heads and say, uh-huh.
I didn't hear anything personally, but that sounds lovely.
To preserve is to cultivate, huh? It's true that though this world will perish, we can still plant its seeds. In the next.
Yes, I swear I'll make it happen.
Whoa! What's the deal?
I'm afraid I may have trespassed on their territory while I was collecting the data earlier.
Great, thanks,
We'll
Tom.
handle it. You just get to NLA.
As you say.
I'm sure these monkeys aren't going to be sad to see us leave the planet, but these are the types of guys we probably can't bring on board with us. The barking simius unfortunately don't appear to be too friendly, but at the same time, I still feel bad thinking that soon enough they're going to be completely wiped out unless we can do something about the void. Regardless, let's deal with them, and I do think that we've at least made a bit of a start here by, and I need to make sure everyone boards their skulls because they didn't. By collecting the genetic data of some of the plants and animals on Mira, hopefully, even though we're leaving the physical planet behind, we can take some of its history with us and cultivate it on a new world, maybe. We'll see how it all goes. But before we can do any of that, these monkeys are angry. They are punching me. They're literally the size of our skulls, which is crazy. They're about as strong as them, too. They're level 55, barking simius, and they said, oh, there's been a lot of cutscenes in Chapter 13. You want some action? Okay, we'll give it to you. This has actually been a decently tough battle. As much as I've been grumbling and groaning and bemoaning the fact that Al's come in and sort of stolen my spotlight, if I didn't have him here, I don't know that we would have gotten through that battle. I'll give it to you, Al. You're a great asset in combat with that skill of yours.
Well, that did it.
Yeah. All right then, let's go report back to NLA.
Eric's been in touch. He says Ted saw sense and came back. And with a load of data in tow. You made a commander very happy today.
Where is he?
He broke the rules. He'll need to do his time. To discourage the others, shall we say.
Yeah, thought as much.
And the genetic data? What about that?
Already added to the White Whale 2's databases.
You cleared it.
Commander, thank you for this.
Mustache Man is big softy.
All right, folks. We'll call it a day. Kudos. You've earned yourselves a break. Well, there is one more thing.
Problem?
Good news. Fresh off the press, too. The jump drive is online.
You're serious?
I am. Go see for yourselves. The others should already be over there.
We gotta see it.
Yeah, let's.
Oh, what a magnificent system! Not only did you link the Ares drive to the White Whale 2, a nigh impossible task in itself, but to run them in parallel, thereby allowing the Ares to function as it always did? Hands off to you!
Now to get back the cores from Void, make the Ares whole and return to home base, then we can finally leave this place. Nice and simple, just the way I like them.
We've achieved a hell of a lot in a few short weeks. We rock.
The credit goes to our allies, chief among them the Manon, who shared much wisdom with us. Humanity could not have done this alone.
You know, I'm starting to think we might just be able to pull off a win.
In Void's contest? Really?
Lynn, now's not the time.
Yes, right. Sorry. I didn't mean to bring all that back up.
You're not wrong to have a wafer, Lynn. Ideally, all living creatures, big and small, would not fight, but set their eyes on a new universe while standing knee to knee.
The fact is, when Void faced us, he didn't consider pursuing that possibility. He can't consider it, even in theory. His goal is survival, at the cost of all else, everything and everyone. No more.
What a lonely way to be.
If loneliness is all he knows, is that why he doesn't want anyone else to make it to the next universe? That's why he denies us?
That's right.
Hang on a sec. He claims he's pursued us because he wants to know what death is. When I thought of him as evil, did I get him wrong? Was I too hasty?
No, there's certainly a streak of wickedness in him. He's lonely, insatiable, and curious, too. In a way, he's very pure. But if it ultimately brings him to wish harm upon us, we should call a spade a spade. By any name, his intentions are inscrutable to us, and that's the truth.
It's not like he wants to be screwed anyway. He's alone, and fine with it, right? Trying to suss him out might just tick him off. Although, I doubt that he even has the capacity to get angry.
I gotta say, you really seem to get him.
You trying to make me puke? I guess our minds might have gotten mixed together. Over there, inside of the rift.
Mixed? Such a curious notion.
It's the place where all consciousness flows. Me and Void, we both made it out of there. Doesn't surprise me if things got a little buggy.
So there's a bit of each of you in the other?
Maybe. Though, there's one key difference between me and him. I fight to secure us a place where we can all belong together. And that's because of a strong passion, something Void can never possess. It's 'cause I love you all.
Never were more heroic words spoken. Truly pearls of wisdom cast before a swine.
Thought I'd shaken the whole hero thing. I got high hopes. Fate doesn't lay our path out in front of us. We make it ourselves. Real body or mimeosome doesn't matter. Because we are feeling beings. We fight to survive. Right?
The White Whale 2 is now complete. Furthermore, all prospective escapees have been relocated to NLA. It's been hard work, but we're at the final stage.
Embark the residents, then retrieve the cores from Void and get going.
That's it.
I'm sure you must all be feeling the strain. Stay strong. We'll be needing your services just a while longer.
That said, there's still time before the DMAT effect reaches us. You should get some rest, but don't get lazy. At ease. Dismissed.
And that was Chapter 13, Act 2. The White Whale 2 is complete, with all races who have agreed to join safely aboard. We have a brief reprieve as the plan enters its final stage. We're approaching the finish line now, folks. We're in the home stretch. We'll save our game here, and I will see you guys back here soon enough for the final part of Chapter 13. It is almost time for us to fly. Look at this beautiful view from up here on the Man-On ship. We really need to soak in these views of New LA while we can, because all things are pointing to the fact that we're going to be leaving it behind soon enough. For now, though, thank you guys for watching. I know these episodes have been a bit longer lately with these longer story sections, so I hope you're still enjoying them. I can't wait to see what you guys have to say about Chapter 13 in the comments. And like I said, I'll see you guys back here soon for what I would anticipate is going to be the grand finale.